All right, guys, today I want to talk about window bucks. People get pretty uptight about, oh, you've got to use a foam buck because you're going to lose too much energy through a wood buck in your ICF wall. And I just want to point out that is not the case. Give a little bit of the explanation of why, and explain to you why we prefer to use the PreBuck wood bucks. So first of all, the reason people want foam is they want to get rid of anything that might be considered a thermal bridge. A thermal bridge is something that conducts heat from the inside of the house to the outside or vice versa, or at least doesn't prevent the leakage of that heat as much as, for instance, an ICF wall. So that's one of the reasons foam bucks came about. Now, prior to foam bucks, we started out with like a 2x12 treated. One of the problems with those was they would warp or split. They didn't have a great way of bonding with a concrete core, weren't very easy to seal. So PreBuck came around, and PreBuck seeks to address that problem by using an LSL material that's treated with zinc borate so it can handle concrete contact. It has these dovetail grooves on the back. Yeah, here we go. These dovetail shaped grooves are cut into the back of the buck so that when the concrete's poured in, this fills in, and it's really difficult to get that buck removed later. Now notice that ZB you see here, that stands for zinc borate, just showing that that is a treated material. We've left this stuff out for months in a puddle of water just to test it. It will swell a little bit, very, very little. We also have tested moisture content on these after they are installed, and just a few days after a pour, our moisture content is into the single digits. So it's a great product, very dimensionally stable, very strong. Because it's so well bonded with the concrete core, we can hang heavy doors on that and it will not loosen or rip off from the wall. So that's the PreBuck product. This is the back side, the side that sees the concrete. This is the front side that does not. Now, in this particular home we recently built, I have all the numbers on the energy projections, how many square feet of windows, how many square feet or perimeter inches of bucks there are, and so on. So we can actually look at what is the heat loss difference here. Now, starting out, let's take a look at the projection. This is the HERS projection. Heating cost over here, annual cost of $923. Now, we have found that these are really, really close. So we're going to use that $923 for this home. It's around 4,000 square feet of heated space. What we've got on this house is we have 4,600 square feet of ICF wall. That's R23 ICF wall. The annual cost associated with that is about $378. For the windows, these are pretty good windows. They're a U value of 0.17. But we have 800 square feet of windows and doors, and the annual cost to heating is about $246. The floor itself is R20. Annual cost for that is just under $200. The ceiling, being R40, is just under $100. So all that totaled up gets you to $917. The one thing I haven't talked about yet is the window buck material. So with the PreBuck, we're looking at a whopping $6 a year in heating costs associated with that wood buck. So the savings to go to a foam buck there would pretty much cut that in half. So you'd save about $3 a year on this home by using wood bucks. So I just want to give you a little idea of what this home looks like. This is the main level envelope right here. And then we have a second level above just this portion. This is all taller ceilings with upper level windows too, but it's still all one level. So it's a decent sized home, maybe slightly above average for an ICF home in size, but the amount of windows it has is pretty typical. So I think these ratios, at least that we're talking about, are very, very close. So the way the heat flows through a wood buck is it flows through the edge. Your buck is like this, the heat flows through like this. If this is the wall, you've got your buck opening it here, the heat is flowing through this way. Well, wood has an R value of somewhere around 1.5 to 2, depending on exactly which wood it is. At 11 inches of thickness, you're looking at an R value of there not much less than the ICF wall itself. Whereas an Energy Star window, much bigger area, an Energy Star window is R about 3.3. We're using better than standard. We're getting about an R 5.5, and that's a really good window. It's hard to get much better than that. You can, but you're definitely going to be paying through the nose. And as you can see in the cost that we've discussed here, the extra that you gain by upgrading the window buck material is negligible. I would much rather have something where I can hang a heavy door on it, slam that door, have my kids slam that door and not worry about it coming loose. Or the same thing with a window. Think of this size window here. And if we end up having a tornado, putting a lot of pressure on that window, I don't want there to be any possibility that that window can rip out of the foam buck. I prefer the extra holding power of a wood buck. So that's it for now.